Well, girl, there's a lot of things I love about you, but some things I just don't like. How's it going today, guys? Trucks and Water here, and in today's video, I'm gonna go over the top 5 things I hate about my modified K1500. Before we start this, there's 2 things. One, I made a video way back in the past of the top 5 things I hate about my K1500. That was when the truck was bone stock, so the truck's got some mods on it now, so I want to go over some stuff. Second of all, this is my opinion on my truck. Trust me, it was hard to find 5 things I did not like about this truck, or I hated about this truck. But this is my opinion on my truck. So for all you little keyboard warriors, go down in the comments. I don't deserve my dad's truck that dad bought me and all this other bull crap, because apparently you all have nothing better to comment about. It's my opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch the video. So let's get right into the top 5 reasons why I do not like / hate my K1500. Number 5 on the list is gonna be a weird one, but let me explain myself, is the uniqueness. Now, I love the way I set my truck up. It's what I wanted, the way I envisioned the truck to be, stuff like that. But that being said, the uniqueness is an issue for 2 reasons. Number 1, if I ever went to sell this truck, God forbid I ever wanted to sell this truck, it's going to be very hard to sell this truck because of the fact that I built it the way I wanted to see it. Not everyone likes the blacked out Line-X front end, or the leveling, or the wheel and tire setup. Not everybody's going to like that. So, the uniqueness aspect of it, in that sense, it's kind of hard, especially the tow mirror. Everyone's split half and half on, should I have tow mirrors on it, or should it go back to, like, I call it the Impala mirrors. Personally, I love the tow mirrors. You can see more out of them. They're a lot more practical. And even if you, especially if you tow with this truck, those little, I call them little Impala girl mirrors, they just don't work for me. It's just my opinion. I just don't like them. But number 2 on that list of uniqueness is the amount of hate you get. Now, granted, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. I'm one of the bigger guys on Instagram and YouTube around in the East Tennessee area. Sorry about the wind noise, guys. So that being said, there is I get a lot of hate for this truck, a lot of just weird, stupid comments, because apparently being a keyboard warrior is cool nowadays. Like I said in every video, guys, I respect everyone's build. I have my own personal taste, of course, but I respect everybody's build. I want to see the best in everybody's build, and if you don't like my build, that's fine. But there's no point in hating on them. But the uniqueness of it brings that kind of reaction out of people sometimes. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. So that's number 5 on my list. Number 4 on my list is another weird one, but let me explain myself, is the constant change. And what I mean by that is when you start modifying a vehicle, you start putting custom front end parts, wheels and tires, suspension lift, tow mirrors, bumper stuff, tail lights, stuff like that. There's always going to be something coming out that's bigger, badder, better than what you just put on your truck. So once you light that candle in you, once you light that fuse that you start modifying a vehicle, then it's always going to be a constant change. No vehicle is ever done. I don't care what anybody says, what anybody that says their project's done, no vehicle is ever done. You always want to change something. Whether that's antenna, mirrors, whatever it is, it always wants to change something. No different for the K1500. Once I've leveled it, now I want to go bigger on the lift kit. Once I put 20x12s on it, I want to go to 22x14s now. So it's a constant change, which is cool though, because like you can see the progress of the build that keeps going up and up and up. But it also costs a lot of money to do it, and it's also frustrating for people that are not into this, that don't understand why we do what we do. But again, it's our build, it's our truck, we'll do what we want. But it's the constant change and parts coming out and stuff like that that gets kind of frustrating. And it gets at times like, dang, I wish it just, like, I could leave it like this, but in my heart, I don't want to leave it like this. I want to build it and build it bigger and badder and better. And it's just a constant thing. I mean, it always is. Like the motor swap, when I had to redo the motor, and I want to do something bigger and badder, but I couldn't because of my budget at the time. But later on in the future, she ain't gonna be a slow OBS, we'll put it like that. But anyways, that's number 4 on my list. Number 3 is drivability. And I don't mean the ride quality or anything. Like I said, my top 5 things I love about this truck, I love the way it rides. It rides butter smooth. It is fantastic. I don't have any complaints. What I mean by drivability though is if you've ever owned one or have an OBS truck or basically a Chevy in general, you know they have a turning radius of Jupiter. Add on aftermarket wheels and tires, wider tires, they don't turn worth a crap. So can I go through drive-thrus unless it's purposely made for trucks? No, I cannot fit through drive-thrus. Certain parking spaces I don't fit in anymore because of the wheels and tires still, which is kind of funny because 20x12s aren't really that big anymore. You know, stuff like that, like certain parking lots and just businesses and roads, even these backcountry roads around here, I could barely fit on them, let alone 2 vehicles. I mean, you gotta understand, once you go that wide route, once you want to go 20x12s or wider, God forbid, like you want to go like me, 14 wide, 16 wide, or 18 wide, you ain't gonna fit on some areas. And that, I mean, that can put a strain on a lot of things, you know. Like, I got lucky enough to have the amazing girlfriend that I have, that she understands why I modify a truck, and she understands that why I park in the very back of parking lots and don't go through drive-thrus and stuff like that, where a lot of girls don't understand that. But yeah, the drivability of this is like that, especially when you go wider wheels and tires. On 20x12 you should be okay, 22x12s you should be okay, some 22x14s depending on the truck you should be okay. But if you tow a lot, you really can't tow on these wider setups usually, and especially some of the tires you have to run these wider setups, you really can't tow on them. So that being said, guys, that is number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is fuel economy. And before you all go in the comments, I knew this was coming when I put the wide wheels and tires on this truck. The track bars on the, well, the track bars don't really affect anything, just adds weight to the truck, which they're like 80 pounds a piece, those track bars. Like, they are solid as a rock, and they're rated for like 1,000 horsepower. So I think it should be okay. And stuff like that. Now, granted, if I road trip this truck, so I'm at 75, 80 on cruise, going down to say Florida, Daytona truck meet, something like that, I will average about 17 miles to a gallon. What kills me is around here, stop and go, city, stuff like that, where you're constantly on the throttle, off throttle, on the throttle, off throttle, you can't get on cruise control. That's where it kills me on fuel economy. When you build a truck like this and you level it, big wheels and tires, lift it, big wheels and tires, you've got to understand you are going to affect the aerodynamics of this truck. Now, this is like basically like throwing a brick through the air, granted, but it affects the fuel economy of this truck. So I went from about 18, 19 miles per gallon road tripping to about 17-ish highway, or like a mix, probably, or in the, I went from 16 to 15 and a half or so, and then just strictly city and traffic and just stuff like that driving, you're looking at probably, I was at about 15 before the wheels and tires, and now I'm about 13 and a half, 14 and a half, somewhere around there. So it does affect it, but you just got to know that going into something like this. But it's a noteworthy thing to say. These trucks are not that tunable. I mean, there's people out there that do tune them, and there's a couple good reputable people that do tune these trucks, but it's not like the diesels or the new trucks. You can just go on any tuning website and grab great tunes that increase your fuel economy, unfortunately. So that is number 2 on my list. And number 1 on my list of top 5 things I hate about my K1500 is the cost of it. And yet, like I said, the fuel economy, you're probably saying, Josh, you knew going into this was going to cost you a lot of money. I know that, but I'm just saying, holy mother of good lord, did this has cost me way more money than I ever thought it would be. Once you start modifying a vehicle, guys, and you really start diving into it, you think, oh, I'm just gonna get a leveling kit and some wheels and tires, and that's gonna call it good. Then you see some other purchase truck that's got something different that you like and you want to put on your truck, and it's a constant cycle. I mean, the joke of this costs more than a drug addiction, at this point, probably not a joke. I mean, probably could have a cheaper drug addiction, honestly, but I chose this as my drug addiction, basically. I love modifying this truck, I love building this truck with my buddies and stuff like that, but it does cost a pretty penny to modify a vehicle. Is it for everybody? Heck no. I always joke with my girlfriend and stuff and say, like, my friends, and say, why can't I be into like knitting or something really, like a really cheap hobby, but, or passion and stuff, but God chose me to choose trucks and guns and dirt bikes, apparently, so that's just what it has to be, I guess. But do realize, guys, going into it, no matter what truck it is, yes, there's cheaper builds than other trucks, or cheaper trucks to build than other trucks, but it always going to cost a lot of money at the end of the day. But all that matters, guys, is like, people ask me all the time, they're like, do you count the dollar signs and everything? I don't, because the moment you start tallying up dollars and cents stuff, I'm all about budgeting, but then you're not doing this for the right reason. You should modify a vehicle because you want to, and you want to see what you can create and what your passion is and what shows up. I don't want to modify a vehicle just because, or it's cool, or I want to be Instagram famous. I modify my truck because I want to see what I can do and what I can bring out of this truck and what build I want. A lot of people on Instagram don't do that. They just want to modify a truck to be famous and stuff like that, and that shouldn't be the top priority, guys. But that is the number one thing I could think of why I hate this truck, is how much it's cost me. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like the video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Join the Trucks and Water family. We're constantly growing and changing and trying new and better things. I hope you all have a great day, and remember, never give up on your dreams.